This Spartan Striker troop box isn't a new kit, but it is worth a look. I'm expanding my British Team Yankee force in an unusual way, and I need some of these. Join me for a look inside the box. This is TBBX04, the Spartan Striker troop box set for Team Yankee. As I said, this isn't new. These have been available for British forces for ages, but I've never reviewed them, so time to take a quick look. You can build several vehicles from this box. The standard APC is the FV103 Spartan. Spartan is a tiny vehicle that can carry a small section of troops, but it's also used as a transport for weapons teams, like blowpipe AA missile teams. The missile can even be fired from the troop compartment hatch. There's also specialist anti-tank versions, with the FV102 Striker mounting the swingfire missile in a 4-tube launcher, and the FV120 Spartan MCT with a twin-mount Milan launcher. The FV103 Spartan is part of the CVRT family of vehicles developed in the 1960s. The concept was to have a common chassis and drivetrain for a family of vehicles to simplify maintenance and logistics. The family includes the FV101 Scorpion Recce vehicle, the FV102 Striker ATGM carrier, the FV103 Spartan Armoured Personnel Carrier, as well as command, recovery, ambulance and other variants. The APC variant Spartan is small. It can carry a maximum of just 7 people, including a 2 or 3 man crew. This meant Spartan was too small to carry troops for infantry units, but well suited to carrying specialist weapons teams. This gives the teams mobility and enables them to carry reloads. Spartan's power plant was initially a Jaguar petrol engine mounted at the front of the hull. The CVRT series was fast with speeds up to 60 miles an hour. The petrol engine was later swapped out for a Cummins diesel. Armour protection was thin, just enough to stop shell splinters and small arms fire. The APC has a rear door, plus there are top hatches above the troop compartment. Over 900 were built, and they've seen service with Belgium, as well as Botswana, Jordan, Latvia and even Iraq. Spartan is being replaced in frontline British service. A number of these APCs formed part of Britain's aid package to Ukraine in 2022. If we look at the back of the box, there's several pictures of completed kits and 2 exploded assembly diagrams. The diagram on the left is for the FV102 Striker, showing the different upper hull and the boxy swingfire missile launcher. The other diagram covers all the other variants of Spartan. The full picture is the FV103 Spartan APC, with insert images for Striker, Spartan blowpipe and Spartan MCT. There are enough parts to build 4 vehicles, plus 6 unit cards. You also get 4 resin blowpipe gunners. Let's look at the plastic. Spartan comes on a single sprue of grey plastic. This is an older Team Yankee kit, but the level of detail is good and the parts are crisply moulded. The kit is quite modular. Here's the hull. It has the front engine, deck and hull sides, but the centre section is empty. This is because there are different inserts depending on the version you're building. There's also 2 different hull rears. The lower one is for Striker, while the higher one is for all the rest. You can see the rear doors on both these parts. The jerry cans are optional, but come with a nice carry strap moulded onto the part. You can use these on your Spartans, or add them to other vehicles. The odd-shaped part here is the lower section of the Milan launcher for the MCT, while the boxy piece is the swingfire launch box. This raises into a firing position when needed, and holds 5 of the large swingfire anti-tank guided missiles. Tracks are one-piece parts. There's good road wheel detail and the parts are keyed so you can't put them on the wrong way. There's plenty of room around these parts, so I assume the kit uses a semi-slide mould to put detail on the track face. These three hull sections are the closed APC hatch, the open APC hatch, and the Striker swingfire platform. These parts slot into the open section of the upper hull piece. The closed hatch is for the APC and Spartan MCT version, while the open hatch is for Spartan blowpipe, so the blowpipe gunner can fire his missile. The Striker piece mounts the swingfire launcher in the raised, ready-to-fire position. There's also two stowage boxes, a pair of 7.62mm machine guns for the commander's position, and a hard plastic vehicle commander figure. A couple of these 2016 kits had commander figures on the actual sprue. It's a nice touch, but isn't common in later designed kits. The hull piece shows the keying for the tracks, but is otherwise pretty simple. There's the separate coupler piece for the commander's hatch, as well as the hatch itself, plus a spare road wheel for stowage and a sight. The last piece here is the twin launcher tubes for the MCT variant's Milan missiles. So that's the parts for the Spartan or Striker kit. The parts look fine, and despite being a 2016 kit, it is thoughtfully modular. I was concerned about unsightly gaps in the different upper hull inserts, but I've built a bunch of these now and that isn't an issue. Like the Scorpion, the Spartan kit is tiny. With few parts, it builds up pretty quickly, and there aren't any gotchas in the assembly. It all comes together just fine. They do give you two machine guns in case you have some problems getting it off the sprue, but again, that hasn't been an issue. Given there are so many variants you can build, I'm not going to go through all the stats. Here are all the unit cards. You'll notice the stats for courage, morale and the rest are pretty standard for Team Yankee British. They're hit on a 4+. Armour is 2 over the front with 1 on the sides and rear, and top armour of 1. Even small arms and artillery have a chance to penetrate Spartan. I think Battlefront were a bit parsimonious with the 10-inch or 25cm tactical move here. The CVRT series were renowned for their turn of speed. It would be nice to see this reflected in the game stats. Cross is a 3+, fair enough for a light vehicle with thin tracks. All the variants get the 7.62mm AA machine gun as standard, good for keeping the bad guys away or a desperate shot against pesky attack helicopters. The transport version is limited to taking one team as a passenger. The Spartan's troop compartment is very small. Blowpipe is an AA missile, with the guided AA attribute, a 48-inch range and a halted rate of fire of 2. Not bad for a cheap anti-air system. It also has a roll against ground targets out to 32 inches, but with a 16-inch minimum range. Rate of fire for this is 1. AT is 12 with a 4+ firepower. The MCT version fires the Milan missile from 8 out to 36 inches range. Despite the twin launcher, rate of fire is 1 from the Holt. AT is 21, firepower is 3+, and it has the guided and heat special rules. Think of these as British infantry Milan teams who can't be pinned. MCT and blowpipe get infrared, so they can see in poor conditions. Striker gets thermal imaging through the swingfire sights. But where can you use all these units? Mechanised infantry companies can take the Spartan MCT and blowpipe as a support option. Spartan APCs are the HQ for the recce squadron formations, and these formations can both have optional Spartan support troops. These are small infantry sections mounted in Spartan APC transports. But the medium recce formation is the only one that lets you use the Striker guided weapons troop. This is an interesting, low-cost British formation consisting of up to 3 Scorpion and Scimitar troops, with a Spartan HQ, Spartan support troop, and the Striker troop armed with swingfire. The fully tricked-out formation is just 27 points for 22 vehicles and 4 infantry stands, many of whom have scout and spearhead. That's a lot of painting, but should be a real handful on the table. Anyway, that's the Spartan or Striker troop box set for Team Yankee. It's not a new kit, but it's a nicely designed kit that goes together well. Unless you take the recce squadron, you probably won't need too many of them, but they can be useful. Striker gives you a cheapish AT-23 option that can be a bit of a surprise for an opponent. The swingfire anti-tank missile is a favourite of mine when I play British. Blowpipe's dual air and ground roll can also be a surprise, and blowpipe is an easy AA asset to overlook mixed in with other units. Hinds hate getting an unexpected blowpipe enema. But firepower is a 4+, less than some of your other AA options. There's no real armour protection, so you'll need to keep Spartans out of harm's way if you can. Have you used Spartan or Striker? How did they work for you? Have you fielded a medium recce squadron? How did that go? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.